All right, so we have this. Sorry, all my videos are starting like with me tired, but I'm always tired. So we have this profile here that has this detail underneath the siding, and then we also have these little profiles, these little elements. So what I mean by profile is like the contour. So that profile right here, and then this is another profile right here. So we have these different profiles here, and we're trying to figure out a way of effectively modeling something like this rather simply and quickly. The way that I do it is by breaking it up into what is that element. Is it an extrusion? Is it a sweep? Is it a void? Is it what is it? And those are concepts that any architect should probably be, or any contemporary architect that models and does 3D should be familiar with. What is extrusion? What is a sweep? Is it one rail? What is a path? All of those things. What is a profile? All of those things. So, long story short, we're gonna do these different ones. And the first thing I wanna do before anything is really understand what am I doing? Like, what is this stuff? So, I would actually, and by the way, I'm gonna show you the context of it. So it's for this project right here. We're gonna do something similar. So this is an element that keeps repeating within this project that makes it particularly unique. So architecturally, we might not agree with it, we might not think it's great, but it's just something to be aware of as an architect. So the first thing I like to do is actually dissect it into pieces. So I'm gonna open this, and I'm gonna open my little sketch so I can sketch what I mean. So alright, so I want to be able to dissect it into pieces, as I said. So, yep. So I got a little. Let me just get a little pencil so that I can sketch with it. I don't know if it lets me sketch, does it? I actually have to do the screenshot. Okay. So, what are these elements? So, this element right here is a simple extrusion that looks like that, 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 in curves. It's not the best sketch, so I'm gonna do it again. So that, and then he does that sort of gentle curve right there. It's more again, you have to really understand the sketch. It has a curvilinear piece with it. I'm sketching by hand, so don't judge. So, but that's a simple extrusion, meaning you're gonna grab whatever that profile is, and you're gonna extrude it in 3D, right? You're gonna pull it in that direction. I probably will have something like that. But that's extrusion right there. So, but then we have another type, which is the cornice little element, which is a profile. This is also a profile, but what I mean by that is more of a sweep, because it's a profile that does something like this, right? But it revolves around a form, around a path. In that case, it's not a revolution or a revolve, it's actually a sweep, because that profile right there is gonna, and that's in elevation or section, will revolve along a path. So a path could be something like that. And that profile in plan will look like a line like that, which is gonna move around that piece, and it's gonna create the perfect corners that we would see. Um, let's just try to explain it with actual real things. All right. So I have a Revit model I created, and let's say we're gonna have that element on this roof. For instance, first, I'm gonna create a model in place. I'm gonna call it casework for now. Doesn't matter what I call it for right now, but it's gonna be like that. And what am I gonna start with first? I'm going to start first with a cornice that will go all around this whole thing. A little profile that will sweep all around, which is the second example I just made. So what things do I need to know? So these are the different concepts I spoke about. By the way, there are many more. If you do Rhino, if you do SketchUp, there are many more concepts of modeling, meaning like actions, or I wouldn't even know what to call it. It's like action words: sweep, strew, pull, push. Those are just action words. So these guys right here, but by the way, every architect should be familiar with all of these different concepts and master all of them. That's just like a doctor or a dentist knows every single teeth you have. That's just the way it is. So we're gonna start with a sweep, and it's gonna be a sweep of a profile. So what things do I need to know? So it's asking me for a path, and it's asking me for a profile. So I'm gonna actually sketch the path first. The path is going to be, and I'm gonna do a pick line around that entire volume. Okay, great. So I already have my path, and it's around that entire volume. Remember what I said, that the path will be planned like that, like a sketch I showed you. I don't know if I have it somewhere here, but I think I closed it. And then the profile will show in plan, right? So now we have the profile. We're gonna actually go in elevation and draw our profile. How? You go edit profile, and you're gonna figure out what that profile looks like. By the way, I'm not gonna get into the details of what it looks like. You can actually crop that image in Photoshop and scale it in some way and do it. I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna show you how. So I'm gonna turn thin lines on so that we can see this very cleanly. And what is that element? Well, it's got a top like that, and it's got some sort of texture. Something is wrong with this line, but oh, I know what's going on. What's going on is, by the way, when Revit doesn't let you draw something like this, it's because Revit has a minimum line dimension. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me anything about it. It's just, it has. So this thing has to be, it's right now, it's like fractions of an inch or whatever. Like, let's make it real, right? Let's make it, like real. Because I'm actually so zoomed in. Oh my goodness. So let's make it real. Let's make it something like 6 inches, and then it's got elements like this, right? So that does that, and then it probably goes back, and it probably goes this, it probably goes that, it probably goes that. Whatever the profile happens to be, that is my profile, right? And by the way I like to sketch it, like I like it to sit right on the path. It doesn't have to, quite frankly, and I'll show you why. And then it will just sweep that thing all around that path. Great. Is that what we wanted it? No, we probably want it all the way up there. By the way, if you can't move it, which we actually can, but if you can't move it on any direction, it's because sometimes it's locked. You see that lock? So you probably wouldn't be able to move it after you finish it. You see, it only moves on that direction. So that's what I meant. But if you were to go inside and unlock it, and then get out, then voila, you can go anywhere you want. It's a quick trick there. All right, but my point is, let's make it simple and quick, so let's do that. So I'm gonna move that guy where it belongs. It belongs here, and that's great. We have our profile. It's not quite like the picture, but the concept of how to do this big profile right here, it's there, right? I don't know how many pieces there is. It requires analysis. I want you to analyze it like I just did. But then there's this other little, what am I gonna call? Oh, sorry. What am I gonna call those guys? Those guys are like, I don't know, like they're like brackets, right? Like supporting brackets. Well, let's call that supporting brackets. So we got like those weird supporting brackets. So you can actually go within the same modeling place and model them within the same world. That's okay. That's not a problem. But those are simple extrusions. You're gonna pick a section and you're gonna draw those extrusions. Simply extrusion. Sometimes you gotta pick a plane. Like right now, you see that it has that like no go. You can't draw there. It's because it doesn't have a plane. Like whatever you're drawing, right? It wants to draw in plan. Actually, it just wants to draw in plan because that's the default plane. So one of the #1 tools in every 3D software I've ever experienced or used is set plane. You can actually pick a plane and make that plane be your work plane. So if you pick on that, by the way, it's picking that. But I don't want to do that. I want to pick. My bad. I want to tab, or I want to pick that one, right? So that right there. How do I know that's the one? Because it highlights the bottom and it highlights the top. So that's the one I want to do it on. So that being said, I'm actually sketching on that one. And I know the scale's off. I'm not trying to make it perfect, but I'm going to show you the concept. That shape does something like this. Something like this. And I don't know, it's got a curved piece to it. So I'm gonna use a nice perfect tool for that. I don't know. It's actually more nice than gentle than that. But let me see. Let me see if I can do that. You know what? You could actually do like there is a pick two kind of thing. Like you pick that, and then there you go. There you go. That's it. That's it. That's beautiful. And then that's it. It's an extrusion. Oh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Well, here it is. How deep are you gonna extrude it? I don't know. Whatever you feel like it is. Just look at the reality. You're like, well, what do I do after I have it? Well, you can duplicate that thing over and over. Period. That's it. Simple. I mean, I'm not teaching you how to make magic. I'm just telling you what to do. So you just copy that guy. I wouldn't copy it like that. I would actually do multiple and then go pick a reference and say I want it to be all equal. So I'm gonna do boom, 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 boom. There is a thing called array. I never use it. Sorry, I am a master in Revit. That doesn't make me any less because I don't do array. I just don't do array. Period. And that's it. And then you got those guys. Does it look kind of like it? Yeah, sure. Wait a minute, but it does have this sweep because it's one sweep, and then this is. Well, I'm not gonna show you that one because I just showed you how to do this one. It's the same thing on a micro, little, mini, me, baby scale. It's a sweep of a profile around a shape like that, and instead of using this plane as the work plane, you're gonna be using the top plane as the work plane. So now go ahead, mess with it, have fun, and show me what you're capable of. Let's keep going. Thank you.